right, so I'm back here on the charts. This is the first trade on this challenge account. It's a 50K challenge account with FundingTraders, and I I got in up here. So I entered in at 10:59. I went long, and admittedly, I went long a bit early. I was waiting for both of the high impact news events to pan out for today, just to make sure that the volatility that was injected into the marketplace matched up with the bias that I have for euro dollar. And so I entered at 10:59. Price went up just a bit and went in long. Price went up just a bit, and then price started to sell off um, pretty expeditiously here into a 15-minute buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So I'll just pull up the 15-minute chart here now. Okay, so we got this 15-minute buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency right there. This large down close candle right here, that's our CPI candle. So CPI is the high impact news event release that came out. When that comes out, it induces a lot of volatility into the market. And so I've been bullish on euro dollar and pound dollar for like the past month and a half. And so I was just looking at this, and once I saw CPI come out, I was like, most likely this is a manipulation to draw sellers into wanting to sell off. And then anybody who had been long, you can see here, anybody who had been long on this uptrend, once they released the news, anybody who had been long, they're coming for their stop losses, right? And so we get this deep retracement. Okay, and now we're finally picking up steam again here during the 11:50 to 12:10 macro. So essentially, that's what I'm trading here is the lunch hour macro, 11:50 to 12:10. I got in at London close at 10:59. Weathered through, this drawdown before we, take off, and ultimately I have my sight set up here, and I'll go out to the daily so you can see what my long-term draw on liquidity is. Okay, so, and I could take this fib off. So we have this high right here. That's my low-hanging fruit objective. Okay, and then ultimately I'm expecting for price to get up above this high here. So we have February 7th's high. That's buy side liquidity, and then we have February 5th's high, which also has buy side liquidity above it. So we can see how we have these daily highs right here, how they're making lower highs. So I'll draw this out here like that. So that right there, that's low resistance liquidity. Okay, very low resistance. So I'm expecting for price to get very animated in order to get up above these short-term highs. Okay, now the level that I'm keying off of here, and so I'm on a daily. I'll do this analysis again. I've did it before, but it's no issue with going into it again. I just go out to the monthly. And so this line is actually right there. Oh, is that? No, I had it correct. I'm using a daily rejection block. That's my key level right there. But again, my higher time frame bias is based on the monthly and the daily. So on the monthly here, draw this out again. We have this discount buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So it's in discount of this range here from low to high. Okay, so monthly BISI or buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. In this case, it's a fair value gap because it's in discount of this range from low to high. Okay, so now dropping down to the daily to get our structural framing. So on the daily, we can see here where we drop down to the lowest point within that monthly buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, which is this green rectangle. This is the low that we made inside of it, and then we had a nice displacement. So it formed a market structure shift and a market structure break. Okay, so it broke structure up above this high right here. Okay, and then it had this steep retracement lower into this level here that I have marked off, which is a daily rejection block. How do I know it's a rejection block? Well, look at what price did after it touched that area. Well, that price really, it repelled higher. I mean, it gravitated higher. So after it went higher, we have another retracement. Okay. So one key thing to note here is price action started to get a little fuzzy on my structural time frame because we had this steep retracement, which also shifted market structure. I was like, okay, we could break and continue to go bearish, but it's just going to depend on what we do inside of here, which is what will determine ultimately what we end up doing, going higher or lower. Okay, now my target on the monthly. So this is ultimately where I have my sight set for price to go. Now it doesn't have to get all the way up here. Low hanging fruit is actually a little lower than this. So this is a monthly sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, and it is in premium of that range I was talking about before on the monthly from low to high. This monthly SIBI is in premium above 50% of the range. Now going back out to the day, or going back down to the daily. So here, once we have this this huge price run, we have price come back down, tap into this right here. So I have this here labeled as a propulsion block. Okay, that's what I have it labeled as in my mind. It's a daily propulsion block, so plus PB for propulsion block. Okay, so once we tap down into that propulsion block, I drop down to the 1 hour to see how we react to that level. So that happened yesterday. So now drop it down to the hourly. And I'll take a partial above this high right here. And I'll make that red. Let's see here. So it's a buy side liquidity. I'll make this red. And I'm going to take 80% off right here above that high. And yeah, so back to the analysis. So once we priced down into this propulsion block yesterday, right here. So I said it was yesterday. So that actually was. It was yesterday, but it was right before we had our changeover in time. So it was late at night on the 10th where we tapped down into this propulsion block. So that was on Monday when that happened. And we were going into Tuesday with our London session. So during London session yesterday, we had this huge price surge higher, breaking structure on the hourly. Okay, so that confirms this as a daily propulsion block. Okay, so we get up higher here. You can see this here going into today. Well, price continues to go higher right before our high impact news event release at 8:30. That's where we get this manipulation in price. And let me go ahead and draw this out as well. Our New York midnight opening price right there for today. So you can see there, we've been very bullish for today. It's just that news event release at 8:30. That was the manipulation to catch people trying to go short, or anybody who had been holding long from yesterday. They get stopped out, and so that's what that news event release did. Okay, so once this happened here, and one other level too, I want to note, because I always use our weekly New York midnight opening price, and I use our daily. So let's see. So today is 12th. Let's go to Monday, or the 10th, and get our New York midnight opening price. Our weekly New York midnight opening price. Right there. Right there. So I'm going to label that as WOP, weekly opening price. And then for today, I'm going to just label it as 0 o'clock. Like that. Okay, so the primary thing I wanted was for price to do its accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So our power of 3 for the week. So we get that. Okay, so we get an accumulation right here on Monday. And it's, pretty much trapping people who are early trying to get in long. And then price displaces lower, or it manipulates lower into that propulsion block that I was talking about. Okay, and then we start to see our real move yesterday during London and New York. And then today it started to do the same thing right before a news event release at 8:30. Then it dumped, stopping out any long holders, who had been trailing their stops up. So their position gets liquidated. And then anybody who's trying to go short, that's what this move here is about. It's about stopping them out. So anybody who's trying to go short, I was using the 15-minute time frame. Actually, before I go to the 15, I'm going to go to the 4-hour, because our 8:30 candle dropped into a 4-hour key level today. Draw that out. So we got an H4 fair value gap, or H4 buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So H4 BISI / FVG, or fair value gap, because it's in fair value, which is in discount of this range from low to high. Or if you want it to, at the time it was from this low to this high. It's below 50%. Price displaces higher. Okay, so now what we have from this 4-hour key level, and I'm going to change the color of this key level. Change it to blue. So from there, I like to gauge my entry from the 15-minute time frame. So from the 15-minute time frame, what I was looking out for is for price to get above this short-term high right here. So once that happened, we had our market structure shift on the 15-minute time frame. Let's make this It's thicker like that. 15M plus market structure shift, MSS. Like so. So we get our market structure shift like that. And once that happens, this is where my entry comes in at. So what I was reading on the 15-minute time frame is, first and foremost, I was expecting for this to act as a breaker. It didn't do that. I also was expecting for this to be an immediate imbalance rebalance. It didn't do that. However, what we did have down here below us is these discount arrays. Just a discount array. So we had a 15-minute fair value gap, and we had a 15-minute order block. Okay, so we come down into the 15-minute buy side imbalance, sell side efficiency, and from there we get a nice run here into our lunch hour macro. Okay, and so that's what I was framing this entire trade on. Like I said, I got in here at 10:59. Okay, but I had to weather, a little bit of drawdown, which is fine because the bias or the narrative was still bullish. And so I sat through that in order to see price continue to go higher into our higher time frame narrative, which is bullish. Okay. So now I'm just watching price drop down to the 1 minute. You can see here where price is behaving very nicely. And what I'll do is, since I have my long-term target way up here, I'll go ahead and take off a partial, since we may have to sit through um, some price action that's less than favorable for lunch. I mean, the time is 12:11 now. I'd like to see it go ahead and take out that buy side liquidity pool. Um, but like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and scale off some of my position here. It's the first trade on this account, so I want to go ahead and take off what I can. I'll do 80% partial close. So this is a 0.75 lot trade. So if I want to take off 80%, let's do 75 times 0.8. I'll be taking off 0.6. So I'll go ahead and take that off. All right. So I just took off 0.6, close positions. And then I'll go ahead and move my stop to break even as well. So that puts the P&L at 161.40. Okay. So I like to just, with the first trade, I like to just get positive. That's the most important thing. Is getting positive in the account. Typically I'll go ahead and wait for it to reach my buy side liquidity objective, but I like to have a good, little cushion, going in. So I just take partials early when it's the first trade on the account. Just to go ahead and get positive. Now, my stop loss, I'll go ahead and move it up. And what I'm gonna do here is, let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, so go ahead and move the stop to break even. And you can see there we're getting nice price delivery there. Why is it not? Stop. Okay, there we go. So I just moved my stop loss to break even, and you can see there where we just ran that buy side liquidity that I was talking about. And so, like I was saying earlier in the video, ultimately, where I'm looking for price to go, right here, we have low resistance liquidity above these highs, these lower highs. And so really, I'm just expecting it to really price up above all these highs. And like I said before, my objective is up here. Our monthly sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. That's what this red rectangle is. So, yep, just waiting on this one to pan out. You see that on the 5-minute. So I wouldn't be surprised if price wants to retrace now. We just formed a new 15-minute candle, so we just formed a 15-minute buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we want to come back down into there. This blue rectangle here, that's that 15-minute buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency that I was talking about. So went ahead and took some off and moved my stop to break even. So now it's a risk-free trade. So now I'll drop back down to the 5-minute. I'll watch things from the 5. All right, so just stay tuned.